Oh yeah, good. We get a new shipment in, or?
Yes.
Oh man.
A whole nother run.
Holy cow, boy. Is we hadn't heard Mom and Dad's review yet. I gotta put. You can't look at. I gotta give you something on the air today.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm not looking.
Is Mom and Dad ain't reviewed it yet? That's why I can't wait, boy.
They haven't reviewed it so much, but I do know that some people saw the match from 2 Sundays ago.
Yes.
And I guess I'm kind of a big deal in my town of 82 people.
I guess there's a statue.
Yes.
I think, boy. Okay.
I mean, I may be able to run for mayor there. I'm just saying. But my dad did win on 21 write-in votes, so like it's not going to be that hard to become mayor.
I love that. Boy. There's a statue of Bullet in this little hometown. It may resemble like the Dale Earnhardt one that his wife wants to be took down because nobody paid for it. But anyway, that's one.
Or that really scary one of Lucille Ball.
Oh yeah. The one that don't even look like her at all, but
yeah, she's
looks
like smiling like a crazy person.
Yeah, like a child abuser or something. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Daddy Don't Work, You Wrestle. You hear the clap.
Okay.
You know what time it is. George, how was your weekend?
Bullet, unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, we added sound effects to this weekend show because it actually is raining. Okay, so, and I love that. Bullet, good. I love rain. Rain just washes away the dirt. Okay? Not that our show's dirt, but we're pretty close to it. But anyway, before we get started, I am slowly building our videotape album chemistry between us.
Yes.
And Bullet, I finally found one. It took me a while, but I want to present this to you on the air for our shelf. Okay. The actual VHS Police Academy.
Ooh.
Okay. And you know, most comedians base their HBO specials, maybe even a good check, payoff, long history to a career. But to me, when you reach this pinnacle of the comedian career, you're there.
Okay.
Hey,
Police Academy is your gold standard.
it is my gold standard. And most of us Police Academy fans, this was the original, the first, probably one of the best ones. But a lot of comedians now, and I'm showing my knowledge here of the comedian world, a lot of comedians were in this thing, boy. And one of my all-time favorites, of course, is my Bobcat. He's over with me. But several comedians, and a few that tried to be comedians, was actually in this. So this will be actually put up on our shelf, Bullet, okay? Beside Hillbilly Jim,
there you go.
beside RVD, and all Japan Classic. So that is my gift to you. We got that, and of course Sonny and Cher is still here. So if nothing else, we're building up a Moss videotape library, okay, of good movies.
Very Ted Kaczynski-ish behind us right now, just collecting stuff, and somebody's gonna have to decode that later. You know, like.
But when you, I just love when an entertainer in one field can get a payoff in another field. It's what one reason I love that, and a lot of comedians were already established, but jumped on board there, and anyway, so that's what I'm basing you on. Yes, sir. You can do the what's the famous theater where you rub the rock or the before you go out to tell your jokes? Apollo, the famous Apollo place, I think. But you got to rub that. Good luck.
I was thinking of Death Valley, like I think Clemson Stadium.
But anyway,
there's a college football stadium where you have to rub the rock before you run.
Yes, very true. And I know you're hoping to reach the HBO status, maybe later on, maybe even a full cover of Creative Loafing, like I told you here in Charlotte, the Carolinas. That one comedian, brother, he got the one from overseas or whatever, he got the front cover plus like 8-page layout in that thing. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. Ain't got nothing to do with wrestling, but anyway, that's my gift to you. So a lot of stuff going on, Bullet. Still, the wrestling world is talking about the John Schuyler, Bullet, Jake Manning match. I even had some fans ask me this weekend, they even asked me, did I get a few thumbtacks in me? I said, yes, I did. So I can imagine what y'all went through. So
well, that was funny when you talk about thumbtacks. David Starr came up to me afterwards while I was at the gimmick table, and he plopped a thumbtack down on my table, and he goes, "Guess where I found that?" And I go, "I don't know." He goes, "It was in my shoe." and I'm like, "I'm sorry." He goes, "You don't understand. I was standing over there. He was over by the wall." which was like 80 feet away from the ring. For him to end up with a thumbtack in his shoe from over there just kind of gives you
remarkable.
Yeah, kind of gives you the idea of the danger that we were in.
Bullet, that's very tying note onto a balloonish and letting the balloons go, and it appears 20 years later in somebody's backyard. Yeah. That's very kind of same along the lines of thumbtackish. A very, very good match, Bullet. I was just very excited. I finally got to see me getting to knock Peter Beck's on O'Brien down. And what made that so special is his mom. I think I told you his mom came over to check on him. Nobody checked on me, but that's okay. Glasses went flying. It was really a very special moment. I had a lot of people still talking about it this weekend. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. Had a great weekend. I want to thank real quick Les Thatcher. Me and him was together all day. Bless his heart. Saturday, 9 hours, believe it or not, of training. Of course, down there in Cordele, Georgia. Bullet, just a great, met a lot of good guys. Got to see our buddy Kyle Matthews. Got to talk to him for a while. Just a great day. And then, of course, they had a huge show that night. Beautiful little building. It was the old NWA Bill Barron's building.
Yeah, the old barn.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Beautiful building. So, anyway, thank Les Thatcher. Even me learned some stuff. It was kind of neat. When I got my time with the first two guys that could really do something, you know, I called one of my Bullet Jake Manning, George South spots from like Seagrove, you know, from like 2005 when we didn't have nothing but time.
Yeah.
And of course, Les said, no, George. Let's cut it in half, okay?
Yeah.
They wasn't ready for the Seagrove spots, okay? So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. I know we're all busy this weekend, of course, Bullet, the huge NWA Fan Fest here in town. Of course, tomorrow night I'll be running up to Tazewell, Georgia, Jimmy Valiant. Doing the fair there, and then of course here in the Carolinas from Thursday to like Sunday is the huge NWA Fan Fest here in Charlotte. And so of course you got a lot of stuff this week.
Tonight I have to run off. I'm hosting a show tonight at the Evening News. Tomorrow night I gotta record a podcast. I gotta do improv. Thursday night I think I'm kind of landing a little low. I'm definitely going to wave and stop into the Fan Fest for just a little bit to sell a Man Scout's Guide to
I love that.
Stars. So that will be there at some point in time when I'm not for sure.
That's very Al Perez-ish a couple years ago at the Fan Fest. He just came for like a little bit and sold everything he had and just left.
That's kind of my plan. I'm going to come up with a Tupperware container, set it down, and then leave. and that's basically kind of my plan there. I'll be there for the Queens of Combat show on Saturday.
Yes.
Just kind of wide open right now.
Any news, of course, I'm more excited than anybody. Was any feedback yet on the Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies? Was you able to get your...
I got myself a copy.
Good.
I've got the perfect guest for the show because I have to pick a non-wrestling fan to see this. He's a filmmaker. I just did a podcast with him. He's very excited to watch this thing. I'm very excited to have him on. I'll confirm all that in the next couple of days.
Yes.
But yeah, it won't be the next episode. This episode that I'm doing just this Thursday will be ECW's December to Dismember, which I just was watching the tape today, or the video that is, and I'm on it because I was in attendance watching the show as a fan, and there's a short, brief few seconds where you see me on screen.
Oh, boy.
And I caught myself as I was just watching a little bit ago, so I'm actually on it. So, I was there, so I've got a lot of things to say about it so far. It'll be kind of an interesting podcast. But yeah, the next one's going to be Wrestle versus Zombies.
So special that you said that. This past Sunday, I got to see our good friend Tommy Dreamer and spend some time with him. He did, it's kind of neat, he did a little interview towards the end just about the match that happened, how I helped Zane Dawson win. But then, of course, Tommy Dreamer put that plug in there that if I stick my nose in his business again, he may just have to bring out the Texas Bull Rope match, which his idol Dusty Rhodes, of course my idol Paul Jones. Tommy Dreamer mentioned this in that interview, and that me and him just may have to do a Texas Bull Rope match. So I got very, very goosebumpy-ish when Tommy Dreamer says that. So, but I think your podcast has got me more excited. Your review podcast of Wrestlers versus Zombies, I think, has got more talk about it than the actual movie Zombies versus Wrestlers.
Well, I hope so. Like they made a movie. Let's put that aside.
Yes.
What happened or how good it is. They made a movie.
Yes.
And if anything, if you listen to this podcast and it puts money in their pocket, somebody that actually put their heart into something, then more power to
yes.
it. So,
yes, very good. And you can always hear when I mention it just a tad bit of jealousy in my voice because And I told you, if there's a part 2, I want to be a zombie. I got to be a zombie. I got the clothes for it. I got everything I need, Bullet, okay? I already walk like one, but my back hurts from too many Ultimate Warrior clotheslines, but still. But anyway, so I'm very, very excited about, so maybe 2 weeks for the review on that.
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because the one coming out this week and then 2 weeks from now.
Okay, very, very good. I know we got to go. A lot of stuff going on. The rain's coming. Noah's Ark told us to get on a boat, but us dumb wrestlers didn't listen. Bullet, idiot of the week. Bullet, this idiot of the week, or idiots with a S, will be, of course, and everybody is qualified to get in this bag, but I love it when I can throw a bunch of wrestlers in at one time. But I want to not just throw them in the idiot bag, but use this as an educational tool, because we're always here on the second greatest show ever that ain't on TV, is to educate people. Yep. So, of course, this past, and you got to know, but I've always said, when you're invited to a wrestling show or you just show up, you got to kind of know where your place is. I did that for many, many years, just hoping to maybe get a look at, maybe just get a referee spot, whatever you can have me do. But I get so tickled nowadays. It's happened twice already, and I love it because I get a lot of idiots out of it. Is, of course, AML and PWX have started giving some of these young guys a chance to work a little match before the show, just to get some ring time. Not really to get a job, because you'll be taking our job. That's the first educational tool. But anyway, so we did the same thing at AML Sunday, which is like a young talent look at, just to get in there and do a few spots, arm drags, whatever. But anyway, of course, what happens in this huge 6-man Bullet, I don't even know the guy's name. The first spot, people are coming in. People ain't even in yet, is the point I'm trying to make. It's just something for people to do as they're getting in their seats. Gives us a chance to look at these young guys that nobody knows. You know, Bullet, the first, I'm not kidding you, the first thing they did, the first thing was dive over the top rope. All 6 of them on the floor.
You don't even have, like, you spent a lot of time setting that whole story up. All you had to say is they had a match before the doors open, some young kids, and I knew right away, first spot to dive.
Oh, boy.
I know right away.
You know,
that's how it is.
It's like you coming over to my house. Okay, for instance, Bullet, but you come over to my house to date me, okay? And I introduce you to mom and dad or whatever, Bullet. You got to have imagination here. And we sit down to eat, and you're real hungry, okay? You want to like overly eat because there's a big, you see what I'm saying? But that first day, you does that make sense, Bullet?
You gotta make it.
You gotta eat that little bit that Grandma gives you. Okay, I know you want that whole basket of rolls. Okay, and probably another piece of roast beef, but you can't on the first day. Does that make sense?
You cannot, but here's the other problem too. A lot of times promoters are such marks like, oh yeah, they did dives, and that's all they care about. But I'll tell you what consistently will always impress people, whether the promoter is a mark or whether they know what they're doing or they're fans. This is what always consistently will get you over, is your entrance. Okay, and here's another reason why doing all the dives and owning all the high spots is an issue. Because you're in there with, if you're in a 6-man, you're in there with 5 other guys, 6 other guys, including the referee. And guess what? Not all of you are great. Not all of you are fantastic. And guess what? Everybody else is trying to get a job. Do you think they care if they're going to be there for your spots? I've seen guys intentionally spots messed up. That's why you just focus on having the best entrance out of all those guys.
Very good point.
And people will remember that. And I've seen guys get hired just off entrances and appearances and just standing in the ring and how you present yourself to the fans. And that more than anything, consistently, sure, the dives and all the big high spots, that'll probably work. But to me, as somebody who cares about his body, especially a 34-year-old man, and I'm more of a person of a percentage-wise.
Yes.
So I'm going to play something that's going to be a higher percentage. So if you just worry more about you coming out and having a good entrance, nobody will mess that up. Nobody will mess that up, because if you come up with a big high spot, you got to have somebody there to catch you. You got to have somebody there to do the spot with you. And I don't count anybody, especially when everybody else is out for themselves.
Yes. Very, very good. So what I want to do here is, well, really, there were 6 guys. One looked real good because he dived. The other 5 caught him. So well, I'm gonna throw all 6 of them in here only because.
Which is very generous.
Yes,
of them
it
to
very
catch
is.
him.
It very is.
And it brings the promoter may book that guy that just does dive, and that may be all he can do.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the really messed up part. Somebody they that guy did a dive, and they just book him, but he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And maybe the guy that put the match together, he's the one that looked for. He was the one
That's
should
very
be
true.
booking.
That's very true. So, and we'll always give you a remedy for your cold instead of just throwing. Well, I'm going to throw all 6 in the bag, but
you can't BS me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see through you all.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, what I recommend for this cold would be, like you just said, Bullet, that even you could have made or break your career with just that entrance.
Yeah.
And it would have gave, because all 6 of them has to come to the ring, Bullet, and like you said, even before the bell's rung.
And those guys can't mess it up.
That's exactly
No, trust
right.
me, guys have tried to mess up my entrance. I have before, but it's been a very small number.
Yes, very good. So we'll throw the whole first match into the idiot bag. We're here to educate you folks. There is ways. The dive may be important, but wait till you come back over to date me maybe 4 times, and then you can have an extra piece of roast beef. Okay,
and if you're the other guys that caught him, why are you going to make him look good?
Now, I know.
Come back to my point before.
Oh.
Like, nobody's going to make you look good. If you're trying to get yourself a job, why are you going to make him look good?
That's exactly
a good
right.
question you should
Very
ask
good.
yourself.
Very
You got to
good.
be selfish in this
Because
business.
there was only like 5 or 6 minutes allowed for that whole thing, so everybody didn't have. That's a good point, boy. Everybody didn't have a chance to dive. So basically,
If you're the guy that made that guy look good, you're not getting booked.
That's exactly right.
Especially if the promoter,
Very good point.
If the promoter's a mark for stuff.
Yes,
Which there are a lot
very
of guys
good
like
point.
that.
So the one that do probably got a job. The other 5 with their hurt backs and their hurt necks are unemployed.
But
So
if
there's so much wrong with that.
if one guy who caught him had a good entrance, he's got a good
That's
shot.
exactly right. Good point. Good. Way to education, Bullet. Very good. But what everybody wants to catch if you throw one is
The second greatest book of all time. But there are other shipping options available, trust me, at highspots.com. If you want to know more about what I'm doing this weekend, probably me and George will see each other throughout the
Yes.
weekend. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ManScoutManning or on Instagram at ManScoutMan. This has been another edition
Good
of
job,
Dad,
boy.
You Don't Work, You Wrestle.
Thank you, buddy. Good job, boy. Thank you for. No, really. That made sense now. See, I could just throw them in idiot, and you'll make it make sense, okay, Bullet?
I'm not going to make anybody look good anymore. I'm done with that.
Oh, yeah.